Hey, sixth graders, happy Monday, November 30th. Hopefully you remember that I am out today, Monday, and tomorrow, Tuesday. So you will be kind of doing school the way we did it when we were in hybrid and you were learning at home, okay? So you are going to watch this video, which if you are watching this video, you already went into today's folder. So you're watching this video, which is going to be way up top here. Then you need to fill out the Mrs. Lee's attendance form. That's exactly what we filled out during hybrid learning. So you just do your first name, your last name, and what social studies core you're in. Remember, core 1 is in my room. Core 2 is in Mr. Rolf's room. Core 3 is in Miss Leah's room. And core 4 is in Miss Johnson's room. Okay? After that, you are going to start reading our textbook, okay? Now, I know some of you have had an issue downloading the app chapters. So what I did, thanks to some bright minds in one of my classes, is I shared the link for you guys that is actually the one that I sometimes show you guys that's on my desktop. So to do this, you will have to send it to Safari most likely, because this is a website versus an app. Oh, there's a little glitch in Loom. And here you see we have Early Ojibwe. So we click to open that. If it is forcing you to sign in, which it might do, if I go back here, you'll notice that there was a button up to the top right that we could log in with. And remember, you need a password for that. So if your app isn't working, you're going to have to do a few more steps and come back here just to our main materials page. And here is our username and password here. But if your app is working, if you've downloaded chapter 4, you don't need to do this part, okay? You're not going to need to access that website. But here's that username and password. Remember the capital T on treaty and the exclamation point at the end, okay? Then we will go back to what you're actually doing today. You have 2 choices once again. You can download this into Notability and complete the assignment, or you can do the slides option. Remember, if you do not like technology, if you do not like slides, I would not do this. Remember, you do have to make a copy. It's not going to let you just make changes to the master. I'm just going to pull up the PDF because they both are exactly the same. So this one you would put into Notability. And what you're doing today is you're beginning to read the chapter. I think it's 4 pages. Chapter 4, Introduction. And it says you will start in our Northern Lights textbook reading pages 4.03 to 4.06. Then you will answer the following questions. So you need to fill out this chart, finding some similarities and differences between the early Dakota and the early Ojibwe. Then there's a sidebar that you're going to read, and you're going to find another name for the Ojibwe is Anishinaabe. And I want you to find out what that means from the textbook, right? If you read that sidebar, names for the Ojibwe, it's going to give you the answer. And then finally, this last one is talking about the Ojibwe migration. Remember, we talked last week that the Ojibwe people did not start in Minnesota as the early Dakota did. And they actually started over here on the East Coast, and they made this journey, and they actually made 7 stops. It's actually a story you're going to hear more about tomorrow. But you need to figure out approximately how many miles they traveled after reading, right? And the map is also on page 5 if you don't like using this one for whatever reason. But you need to follow this journey and see how many miles they traveled, okay? Remember to use the scale. So this length is approximately 100 miles. So you could figure out how many centimeters that is. You could use a little piece of paper showing how much space and how many times you go that amount. Then you need to think about if the Ojibwe were making their journey today, name 3 states they would pass through. Remember, when the Ojibwe were traveling, not only did many of these states not exist, the United States of America did not yet exist. So they were just traveling through land. However, if they made their journey today, what 3 states would they travel through? So you probably are going to need to go onto Safari to find a US map. And then you're going to want to use the Great Lakes kind of as a guide to what states they would touch or go through. And then finally, what food item did the Ojibwe find at their final destination? And remember, all of these answers are going to be found after you read pages 4.03 to 4.06. Remember, our textbook always has that option to read to you. So that's always a great option as well, as long as you're kind of following along and paying attention and not just letting it be background noise. So here you see page 3. Page 4, here's that sidebar that is going to talk about the different names for the Ojibwe people. Here is page 5. Here's that map that you're going to want to use to complete the 3rd slide in your assignment. And then finally, page 6, you only have to read this. You don't have to start with the section People of the Woods and Water. You stop there. Okay. Now, 6th graders, the last thing I want to show you is there is no folder in here to turn this assignment in. Okay. That is because this is going to be the first assignment in our trimester 2 grade book. So you are not going to turn this in. You're going to keep it in Notability, or you're going to keep it in your Google Drive in your slides. And then on Monday, when we come back to school, one of the first things we'll do is we'll upload or submit this assignment to an assignment in our new social studies course. And then we'll do the same thing with what you're doing tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. So hopefully you watched this whole video so you know that part of it. If I get lots of emails about where should I turn this in, I'll know that you haven't watched the video. So hopefully you do. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. I won't necessarily respond to them right away because I'm not at work today or tomorrow. But if it's urgent, I will try. Know that you can always reach out to a peer if you have questions. You could always, if you can arrange it, you can always do this work together. Like I said, if you can arrange it, you can read the chapter pages together and then work to find the answers together. And then, as always, Miss Leah and Mr. Rolfs are there to help as well. You can always reach out to them. I hope you guys have a fabulous Monday. I hope you're well rested from our 5-day weekend. And I will see you all on Wednesday.